We are here and ready to play.
I'm so excited to play. So I've been asked some questions from parents in my group and some from me as well. And in this current time, Oron, what benefits do you see children growing up with, like from this experience of going through this time in history?
The timing of your birth and the arrival on this planet is never a coincidence. So the ones who are here presently, including the older ones, have on an energetic level, a subconscious level, if you will, because you are not aware of it in this moment, chosen to be here for collective as well as individual reasons. The Earth is currently going through quite a transformation. The humans on the earth are going through a transformation also, and both of those things are related. There is a bringing up of darkness that is happening, as well as a bringing up of difference. Difference on your planet and by humans has often been experienced as difficulty, as problematic, as other, as dangerous, as fearful. And a lot of the differences that you have are actually valuable because you are all important parts of the whole. You do not realize when you fight against difference that if you were all the same, you would be bored. The variety on your planet is delicious when you look at it that way. And the people coming into the planet have had energetics that have been varied more and more in the recent past. There is a transformation that is going on. It is happening for individuals and it is happening for the collective. And those of you who have chosen to be here at this time are a part of that transformation. Some of you will play the part of resisting it. Some of you will play the part of supporting it. And no one is right or wrong in that choice. There is an allowing of each other that is beginning to broaden, and part of that will be the minimizing of the fighting against, even when you consider the other wrong.
So for parents who have children and who are going through this, what do you think was the best thing that they could speak to their children about or have a conversation with them about?
Helping them to feel safe. The core requirement for the expansive, joyful lives that you are all here to live is a foundational feeling of safety. What is being brought up to the collective presently are your primal fears, your fears about your finances, which indicate a fear of survival, actually, because it is difficult for you to survive, let alone thrive on your planet without access to money. There is fear of death in terms of this COVID virus, and there is fear in so many ways being brought up into the collective and into the consciousness. The antidote to fear is safety. If you can encourage, firstly, yourself to feel safe, because if you attempt to impart safety into your children when you do not feel safe, all that you will do, all that you will achieve is the confusion of your children. Your children are subtle beings. They are connected energetically in a way that you also are, but that you have disconnected from, you have become unaware of. And when your words and your energy do not match, your children are aware of it. So the first thing that you could do for your children is reconnect to your own sense of safety. Remind yourself that you are supported, that the sun is at the exact distance that it needs to be from the earth to keep you warm, to keep the animals and the life on the planet continuing to move forward and to evolve and to expand. The fact that you have supports on the energetic realm, the fact that you have supports on the personal realm, remind yourself of that, because you are wired to notice problems and differences rather than the ways that you are supported and the ways that you are one with the whole. As you anchor into your own safety, you become a beacon of that. You radiate it. You draw safety towards you, and you draw safety, the feeling, the potential for feeling safe to those around you. But we remind you that you cannot assert an energy. You cannot assert an experience. You cannot assert a belief onto anyone if they do not accept it. You cannot ram safety into the energy field of your children or into their experience. What you can do is call it forth from within them, because within them it lies. Within you, it lies. It is just that there are superficial things that have been placed upon it that make it hard to find. But it isn't actually hard to find. That is also a perception. You are safe. And in order to connect into the feeling that you are safe, we will get slightly more complicated now. There needs to be a revolution of what the idea of death is that is on this planet. That is something that is also being brought to the fore. Your understanding of death is incorrect. You consider death the end. That is not what it is. It is a transformation and a transition in connection and in energy and in relationship. But it is absolutely not the end. But as you continue to perceive it as the end, you are fearful of it and you try and resist it and you block it. And all of the primal fears that are being brought to the surface now ultimately culminate in the fear of death. Therefore, the fear of ending. You do not end. You do not end. You do not end. Your love does not end. Your children do not end. Your relationships do not end. Energy does not end. It changes form. Your science proves that to you in a way that you can understand presently. You can use that for yourself to open your perspective to what is true.
Thank you. Love that. We've had parents who are in lockdown talking about, you've spoken into it a bit already, but like this, wanting them to do homework or to feel motivated, and just love you to speak into a parent who's feeling that is difficult for them to get their child to do something that like homework, or like they want them to be more motivated.
Parents want their children to be a lot of things, often, and they try and push them to be those things. There is a confusion on your planet about the way that parenting is going to be managed so that it is optimal. And that way is not by control. And that way is not by force. And that way is not by pushing. That way is more by influence. Your children have not yet been socialized or wired to push themselves to do the things that they don't want to do. They energetically rebel against it because it feels wrong to them. They are not interested in what they are not interested in, but they are interested in what they are interested in. The intensity that the parents who are currently in lockdown attempting to do homeschooling is much more than normal. But we guarantee that the patterns that are being intensified right now were there before the lockdown. So we would invite those parents to consider this as an opportunity to really become clear on the dynamics with which they interact with their children. How often are they telling their children that they're wrong, that they need to be different? And we would invite them to go deeper and ask themselves, how often are they telling themselves that they are wrong and that they need to do better, be more? The way you speak to yourselves will be the way that you speak to your children, although you will be more mean to yourself than you will allow yourself to be to your children. But the ultimate idea, the ultimate cause of that meanness that you are willing to bring out for yourself, and sometimes to a smaller degree for your children, is because you are trying to motivate yourself. Motivation is not where the power is. The power is in influence. The power is in inspiration. Motivation is like the whip. It is like the stick, in contrast to the carrot. How can you make your children interested in the things that you want them to do? And you will not always succeed. Sometimes they are just not interested in doing that thing. And that has to sometimes be okay. There is a level of discernment that parents need to find within themselves. There are times when the school system will be demanding things that are not to the benefit of your child. There are times when it will be demanding things that will be for the benefit of your child. So this is also about the parents connecting into their own knowing, their own wisdom about what is beneficial and what is not beneficial. But we ask you to feel into yourself when you are making those decisions. And rather than making the question, what is best for my child? Ask the question, what feels lightest to me? Because your wisdom is not of the form, this is better for them. Your wisdom is of the form, this is what feels right. When you follow that, your wisdom, your guidance, the universe will not lead you towards things that will create negative outcomes for those around you. The universe does not care more about you than it cares about others, and it does not care more about others than it does about you. It is a carefully calibrated machine It's actually more of a being than a machine. It is a carefully calibrated being, and within it, you all live because you are a part of it. So as you follow the wisdom towards what is best for you, you will be following the wisdom towards what is best for the whole. But we would invite you to get rid of the idea, I need to decide what is best for my child, and replace it with, I would like to uncover what feels right to me in this moment.
Thank you. So this one is not as parenting related, although I'm sure it is. She's asking about, I enjoy several types of work as a manifesting generator in human design. So it's making me wonder if a specific zone of genius doesn't work for everyone.
There are very seldom things that work for everyone other than getting to know themselves, uncovering how they work and following their bliss. But you will notice that there is no exact prescription for that because you are, yes, in some level all the same, but you are also all quite different. That difference, that variety that we were speaking about earlier, that is powerful. It is delicious. And you all come with a different energetic makeup, intention. The things that give each one of you joy is quite different. It varies a lot. And so, although things like human design and models of who you are in the universe can be incredibly helpful in terms of giving you understanding, the ultimate thing that we would guide you towards is feeling what feels right for you in each moment. There are moments when your energy is being shifted to something else because you have hit a block and you would rather not look at it. And there are moments when your energy is being shifted to something else because the energy has shifted towards something else. So as you start to know yourself, you will know when you are avoiding or being scattered or when you are being called towards something that is going to light you up. So prescription is not something that we prescribe.
And she's also asked that she said that she's heard a bit about the souls who are coming through at the moment, needing extra support to transition from the 12th dimension. Can Oron shed any light on what that means and what specific things we can do to support these children?
We do not wish to argue for or against anything, but we will tell you this. Each of those souls is the entirety as well as a part of the divine. There is no thing that you need to do in order to create support to allow that to happen because the system is carefully calibrated and you are all supported. It is a matter of how much you open up to that level of support. That is not to say that things like prayer and sending positive energy are not impactful. If you feel inspired to doing any of those activities, follow that inspiration because that is once again your guidance leading you to the best outcome for you and for those with which you interact or with which you connect energetically. But do not in any way, correction, if you wish to be a catalyst for growth and the empowerment of others, do not see them as disempowered and needing support.
That's a good lead on to this next question from another mum. How do you interact with those who aren't yet awakened? And then she's got like they're practically comatose.
The first step to productive interactions with that would be to stop resisting the fact that you don't see them as enlightened enough or awake enough. The universe, the world, your planet, humanity is made up of a large variety. And as we said, fighting against difference is not ideal. When you're seeing circumstances come up that are difficult and heavy, and when you see people having ideas and perspectives that are more narrow-minded than yours, that does not make them wrong. That is where they are in that moment, and that is being called forth from them, and they are making choices for a reason. You are not the arbiter of what is correct for them in that moment. They are going through something. They are guided to things for a reason. So do as much talking to them and with them as you can without resisting them. If you can be a source of productive conversation, do that if it feels light and playful to you. If you find that all you do is resist it, why do you take your attention in that direction?
Thank you. And the last question that I have for Oron is to feel more into what you were saying in the beginning about death and that we're eternal beings. Talk more about that, please.
You are eternal beings. You are eternal beings. You are eternal beings. But us trying to convince you of that, for those of you that are unsure or do not believe it or are rejecting that, us trying to convince you of it is not productive, but we will invite you instead to do this. Imagine if you were not limited by your body. Imagine if you could feel things outside of your body, if you could just sense them and feel them. And now remember a time that you were looking straight ahead and you felt someone looking at you from behind you without any ability to see them with your eyes or your physical senses. You just felt it. The reason you felt it is because you are energy beings and you are connected to each and every one of you. You are connected to every blade of grass. You are connected to every aspect of your earth and the universe. You are not separate from it. And each of you will have had experiences of feeling things, of knowing things that you shouldn't, theoretically, if you were limited by the end of your skin, have known or felt. That connection that you hold does not just end. It cannot. Energy does not just end. It transforms. So if it is helpful for you to relax into the knowing that you are infinite because it takes the pressure off you in some way, we invite you to feel that as an experience rather than as an idea. If it is not an idea that resonates for you presently, that's okay. You don't need to engage with it. You can just drop it and you can ignore this part of what we're saying. But use anything that you come across in your life as an experiential guide towards the infinite, if that is available to you. But if that is not available to you, again, do not resist it. Let people think and feel and believe what they choose to think and feel and believe. Again, you are not the arbiter of anyone's experience but your own. So bring the power back inwards to yourself. That is where you create from. That is where you experience. That is where you engage from. That is all of it. It is everything. And the external world is a fantastic, beautiful, delicious validation and trigger for experience. But remember that you feel all of it within you and that you do not end at the limit of your skin. We love you. We love you. We love you. Go well.